Hit record. All right, guys, it is June 7th, and it's the beginning of the month, which is always exciting. Let me figure out how to share this thing. And this month is an awesome month just because it's always fun whenever the 21-day fix is on sale, because that is honestly, a part of it is because that's what I do, or that's how I started, and that's a big part of my story, and it is for most of you guys as well. But it's just such an effective and popular program that, and people do so well on it. I really, if somebody doesn't do well on the 21-day fix, honestly, it's usually because they don't work hard at it or they don't stick with it. But it's a very effective program. It's one of the cheapest ones. The challenge pack is one of the cheapest ones, and it's always just, it's what I sell the most of. I would probably say like 95% of my challengers do the 21-day fix or the 21-day fix extreme. So it's always a good month whenever that is on sale, and it kind of makes Success Club a little bit easier. If you're a new coach on this call, Success Club is definitely something that we shoot for every month, and a Success Club, we shoot for Success Club 5. There's Success Club 5 and Success Club 10. If you get to Success Club 5, there's always some type of recognition. They send a prize. This month, the Success Club prize from Beachbody is Wear and Share. You get to choose from a tote bag, stainless steel mug, or a mega mug. And for me, if you hit Success Club 5 by the 16th, and that's next Thursday when I leave for Summit, I'm going to add on a Fixate cookbook. And if you hit Success Club 10, you get the Wear and Share, and I'm still going to give you a Fixate cookbook. And Success Club prizes are fun, but that's not their sole purpose. It just means, honestly, that you're out there helping people, that you're inviting people to your challenge group, that you are really making a difference. Because if you're a coach, then you probably know that Shakeology is wonderful, that these workout programs work, that the meal planning guide, the portion control containers are wonderful, and you want to share that with other people. So hitting Success Club means that you are doing that you're getting out there, and that you're doing what you intended to do as a coach. And that you're moving your business forward. Some announcements, let's see, going back to July. I have a challenge group starting July 20th. Some of my more seasoned coaches have already scheduled theirs, and they're inviting to theirs. But for myself and for all new coaches, I am starting a challenge group on July 20th. And my internet connection is not good, and if you need to start a challenge group after that, I can help you do that as well if you're a new coach. But right now we're inviting to the July 20th one, and I always start inviting to my challenge groups at least usually about 2 weeks prior to the start date, because that gives me plenty of time to talk about it, to focus on what I'm doing personally, and talk about the 21-day fix, and to do my invites. As a coach, I shoot to invite about 3 people every day to a challenge group. And I know that might sound like a lot, and you might think, oh, I don't know that many people, but we're going to talk about those things in your Coach Basics group, and how to build your audience, how to build your contact list. But shooting for 3 people every single day. If I invite 3 people every day, I'm going to hit Success Club. And that just means, that I'm starting new conversations, not always leading with Beachbody or challenge groups, but that I'm starting new conversations. I'm getting to know people and trying to find out if I can help them through a challenge group. As far as what else is going on in July this month, Summit, of course, is next weekend. That is Thursday through Sunday. Through Saturday, we'll come back on Sunday. And that's going to be a ton of new information and training. And there are some of those Summit events that you can actually watch live or catch the recording, like the opening ceremony and the closing one. Most of the trainings will not be recorded, but I'll be taking lots and lots of notes to come back and help you guys with training. Super Saturday is a big one that I hope that you guys all can come to. If you're a new coach, Super Saturday is a quarterly meeting that we have as coaches. I'm hosting one. I didn't this is just my second one to host, but we're a small team. But they're fun. It's when corporate sends us information about new products, about new training, about, like the first one I went to, I learned about the Success Club cruise that is coming next year. They just send down a lot of good information, and they offer a lot of testimonials from top coaches, from challengers, from people who have definitely been changed by Beachbody. And it's fun. And this time I'm just going to do it at my house. We typically do a workout and stuff, which we could do, I guess, somewhere. But I just kind of wanted it to be more intimate and for us to be able to really get to know each other and sit down and talk and just have a good time. So we will watch that. We'll do that at my house. It's at 6 o'clock on Saturday, July 25th. If you can come, I would so love for you to come. And I know for some of you it's a little drive, so whatever you can do would be awesome. So that is some of the as far as training for us as coaches that's coming down in July. And like I said, Super Saturday is not every month. It's quarterly. But there's always some really, really good information there. So as far as inviting and basically running your business as a Beachbody coach. And that is something that I think that honestly, when I first started out, it was not going to be a business for me. It was something that I wasn't even sure that I would be good at. I had never been a good salesperson. I had tried things like Southern Living at Home or Melaleuca, and I hated selling things. But Melanie, my coach, invited me to do it. We talked about it. I watched some training, some videos that talked about what coaches do. And, I've honestly prayed about it a lot. And even though Rachel didn't want to do it, I just kept feeling like God wanted me to do it. And so I bought another challenge pack. I signed up as a coach, and I jumped in. I still wasn't sure what I was going to do. I didn't look at it as a business. I honestly thought, well, if I sell a couple challenge packs and I pay for my Shakeology for a month or two, that'll be good. I can try it out, see what happens, and then we'll go from there. I did not have long-term goals. I did not think that, based on my prior experience in marketing, things like that I would be here a year from now. Certainly didn't think I would be leading a team call. Sarah, I'm glad you're on here because you are the only one, but I know that people watch these. Anyways, I had no idea that this would become something that I loved. And that I would build it into a business. But it is a business for me. But it's not just a business. It's an outlet. It's a mission field. Honestly, I see it that way. But it takes work. Just like any job, any profession that people have, you have to show up. You have to invest yourself, invest your time. You have to work at it. You have to be consistent. And again, for all of us, that it may look differently. I know one of my coaches, she has children at home. She invests maybe like 1, maybe 2 hours a day into it. Some days she can't invest anything, but she's very consistent. She works hard at it. She makes sure that she is doing the 3 vital behaviors, that she's inviting, that she's paying attention to her own professional development, and that she's posting on social media, and that is paying off for her. But no matter what level you're at, you're invested in this business, the basics are still the same. But honestly, guys, for the first 6 months, I questioned myself, like, should I be doing this? I don't know. There's ups and there's downs, but I'm helping people, but I was confirmed every single month for me in some way or another. So if you're a newer coach, if you're just getting started, or if you've been here for a while, I want to encourage you just to look at what you've done, how far you've come, why you started to do this. And, like I said, God would confirm it for me in some way or another. It might be a message from a challenger, just thanking me for helping them to get started. It might have been a message from someone who just followed me on social media, someone who would never, ever be a challenger, just saying thank you for your inspiration. Matt sometimes from time to time would say, Rachel, I'm really proud of you. You started this coaching thing and you're working hard at it, and you're sticking with it. And I'm proud of you for doing that. And God would definitely just reaffirm what he had called me to do. But it is a slow and steady process. I want to make that point. It is not a marathon. I think that anybody that just jumps in full speed ahead, it can kind of get burnt out. And especially if your motivation is to help people, you really need to get started slow and make sure that you focus on doing that. And one of the biggest things that I encourage my coaches, and that my coach encouraged me in the beginning, was not to watch others. Don't compare yourself to other coaches or coaches who've been doing it for a while, or coaches who just started out and seem to be getting more likes or comments on their posts. It is not a competition. This is something that you do and make it your own. Set goals. If they're small goals, if they're weight loss goals, if it's a success club goal, if it's to sign new coaches, just set your goals for yourself based on what you can do, what you have the time to do, and work towards those. Because again, this is definitely about you as a coach. One of the biggest things I said I was going to talk about posting tonight, because I remember as a brand new coach, I thought, what in the world am I going to post about that anybody's going to care about? I knew my coach, she posted every day about her workout, and I love to see that. I love to know that she was going to be up in the morning and working out, and that she was going to share some tips, some motivation, some encouragement. I love that. And I thought, well, I can do that. Maybe I could start doing that. I felt really silly taking pictures of me working out, but I began to do it. I just did it because I knew that she had helped me, and I wanted to help other people that way. But I thought, what in the world else am I going to post about? Because honestly, this is about, being present, about people knowing that you're there, knowing that you are working out, knowing that you're meal planning, knowing that you're a coach. And in order for them to know that, you have to talk about it, right? But I didn't want to make it something that was annoying and obnoxious. And I knew that my coach didn't do that, and I knew that she could teach me how. So educating your audience is huge. Whether it's, sharing helpful tips, whether it's snack ideas, whether it's motivational quotes, whether it's sharing your meal plan. I tell my coaches this all the time. Sharing my meal plan on Sunday afternoons is probably the biggest generator of my business that I have. People are desperate for guidance. They're desperate to know where to start. And in my meal plan, your meal plan is something that kind of gives them ideas. It says, hey, well, she does this. She puts this together. She's eating real food. She's not, taking a diet pill and skipping all her meals. But she is actually, she's being real here. She's just living life, and she's being consistent with it, and it works. So, sharing things that help people every day. I share scripture a lot. I share scripture in my challenge groups. I share it in my morning workout posts because it's what's important to me. And I know that it helps inspire and motivate people as well. So posting on social media it's a huge part of what we do as coaches. And I always encourage my coaches to start with, of course, you want to share about your workout. You being proof of the product is one of the 3 vital behaviors, right? So if people don't know you're working out, if they don't know you're drinking Shakeology, if they don't know that you're eating healthy foods or using your portion control containers, they're not going to know what you're doing. But other than that, I always encourage my coaches to think about, who are you? What's important to you? And I encourage them to focus on 3 or 4 things that define them. For me, it's my family, it's my faith, definitely my eating and my workouts. If you're a health professional, you can talk about, use your knowledge as a nurse practitioner, as a nurse or a pharmacist to educate people. If you are a fitness instructor, you can share tips that you've learned there. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you can talk about how you get your kids to eat healthy foods. If you are a full-time business person and you travel a lot, you can talk about how you get your workouts in, or how you plan your snacks while you're on the road. There are lots. We all have different things that can help people be successful at making a lifestyle change. And that is what we should kind of focus on, as in regards to our posts. We should always add value to other people's lives. And there can be a fine line there. I know that at times whenever I have have really just been like Beachbody focused and driven, and I was trying to meet a goal, and I kind of lost sight of the fact that I was just posting about Beachbody. My business suffered, I think I kind of annoyed people, and they kind of stopped listening to what I was saying. And that wasn't me either. I was trying to emulate another coach, and it just didn't work for me because it wasn't me. So, be yourself. This next slide says it the best. Build the business that you want to build. There is no one way to do this. And that is what I absolutely love about this. There are so many different ways to do this business. Some people just run it through Instagram. Some people email people. I don't email anybody anymore. I do everything through Facebook, but there's no one way to do this. And definitely, like I said, just share who you are. Be vulnerable. Hope is really good about sharing what she struggles with. I shared a post this morning about struggling with staying on track. I was just real. I just told people, this weekend I ate a whole lot of chips and a whole lot of banana pudding, and I feel like junk today. I'm slow, I'm sluggish, I'm cranky, and I can directly relate that back to what I put into my body. And I just told people I got off track, and I feel it today. And people relate to that because they don't want to see somebody who is not real. They don't want to see somebody who has it together all the time, who doesn't struggle with anything, because that's not reality. So just be real in what you share and what you post, whether it's about Beachbody, whether it's about your family, whatever it is, just share openly and honestly. And another thing, I think that I've said that already. Coaches, especially new coaches, are afraid of being a salesperson, of being salesy. But the first thing is that the way that we educate people about challenge groups and challenge packs, about the products, is to share what we're doing, how we're benefiting from these things. And, I rarely share anything about, say, buy the 21-day fix, or even posting for challenge groups. I do most of that through personal invites. Leading up to this next challenge group, I will probably make a general post about it once or twice. And then I might mention it in like my workout post or something later, or if I share a success story from one of my challengers, I'll invite people there. But you rarely see me just put it out there. I definitely never share my link to my Beachbody site or to sign up as my customer. I never do that. But I share every single day about how the workouts help me, how they benefit me. I try to share regularly about Shakeology and how it benefits me, or good facts, really good, solid information about Shakeology, those are kind of the basics, the workouts and Shakeology, and, how I incorporate the portion control containers that's in my meal plan every single week. People see that. I don't say anything about portion control. I don't say anything about the 21-day fix, I don't sell it, but it's in there. It's in my meal plan. And I believe that it works. It was kind of hard for me the first month or two to get, to walk somebody through that process of buying a challenge pack. But once I looked at it and I saw how much it was helping me, how much these challenge groups and the products had improved my life, it became so much easier. And I saw it, instead of selling a challenge pack, I saw it as, just providing somebody with the tools to change their health. And yeah, some people are going to stick with it. Some people are not. But there have been enough people that I have been able to help get started and get off blood pressure medicine. Or, like Lauren Peters posted today that she her eyesight is better because she had lost so much weight. I didn't even know that your weight affected your eyesight. Those are the things that make this worth it. They're the things that make it worth it. Putting myself out there, putting yourself out there to help inspire people and help to impact their lives. And honestly, you definitely have to have a never give up attitude. I try not to emotionally invest myself in conversations until I know that they are, going to be in a challenge group with me, because it's easy to go through a conversation and answer all these questions and then explain to somebody how to sign up, and then they're like, oh, I don't want to do it. So, I definitely tend to emotionally remove myself from that outcome until I know that it's there. I still want to help people, and even if nobody ever signs up as a challenger or orders a challenge pack, I know that I've inspired them, and that's what is important to me. And definitely be energetic in your post. I've seen coaches who just complain about everything. Every day is the worst day ever, and they don't want to do their workout, or they don't want to eat their food. I say be real, but if you seem miserable and you're not enjoying what you're doing, then some people aren't really going to want to do it with you. So those are kind of the basics of posting, because I know that that's the scariest part in the beginning. And Sarah, even we've talked about posting your coaching announcement. It is scary. It is something that I put off doing like 2 or 3 days. I did it like 2 or 3 days later than the rest of the group. But when I did it, when I shared my heart and shared what I had really benefited, how I had gained from this challenge groups, and put that out there, and I shared my before and after pictures, I was blown away by the support and by the comments. And it was just because, honestly, I inspired people. I had done something, I had committed to something, and I had stuck with it, and I had seen results, and I was inviting people to do it alongside of me. And it was scary. Even looking back, whenever I shared that in Coach Basics today, I can just remember, all those emotions and not wanting to do it. But I was so glad that I did it. And for those of you coaches who are here, and you have a strong why, you have a strong reason, you are motivated to do this for good reasons, that's going to be obvious. That's going to be clear. And I encourage you, you guys know I'm a woman of faith, pray over it before you write it, before you click post. And I promise that, if God's in it, he will honor what you're doing and what you're saying. And I say that too, that applies to what I share every day, because I can definitely look back at my posts and see where I just posted to post, just because I needed to get in 3 or 4 posts every single day. And I was just doing it just because I needed to. And those posts didn't help anybody. They were just obligatory posts. They were just because I needed to do something and I wrote it. So I wake up every single day. And I pray that God would show me who to help, show me what to say, show me what to post. And I'm blown away by how he does that. So those are my tips for just kind of getting started with posting. Some of you are coaches who've been doing this for a while and you've got it down pat, but it's always good to mix it up a little bit if you can, and to just try new things. But that's kind of what I have tonight. I kept it short and sweet, but also I wanted to tell you, I posted this in the Coach Basics group and in my personal team page. It was that coach's guide, what to do in the first month as a coach. And that is awesome. I did not have this. I had pieces of it, but I didn't have this in its entirety to look through and to explain all this stuff. So, if you have time, print it out. And just keep it somewhere, fill out that what to do the first week as a coach, that checklist. And that's going to give you a starting point. And the first month as a coach, it's going to give you, you're going to write down names of people you think might be interested. But I promise you that once you post your coaching announcement, it doesn't always happen the first time. And, timing is key. Like if you posted at midnight, obviously nobody's going to see it. If you posted it at 10 o'clock in the morning, most people are going to be at work. The best times to do that, I have found to post are like between 6 and 7 in the morning, around 9 o'clock in the morning, noon, and usually around 7:30 or 8. I would say 7:30 or 8 is probably going to be your best time, Sarah, for posting your coaching announcement.
Okay.
Maybe even a little later. But that what to do as the first week and month as a coach, that document is really, really helpful. And it's going to answer a lot of your questions, as will that video that I posted last Friday. So do you have any questions right now, Sarah? Or are you in the middle of putting them down?
They're doing okay right now. I do want to see if I can get a copy of your meal planning.
Yeah. There should be one.
Coaches.
There should be some in the challenge group you're in, but if there's not, tell me. And in the file section, if there's not, tell me, and I'll send it to you.
Of challenge group. All right. I'll go back and look. That's one thing that I never really mastered.
And I tell people too that I sit down and I write one out every week, and I look at, I either base my shopping off of it, or I look at what I have and I create it, and I don't follow it to a T. I do not follow it, just meal by meal, but it is such a good guide for me, and it gives me an idea of what we have in our house. And I do on Sundays, I sit down and I cook up my proteins, like my chicken, flank steak, whatever. I chop up vegetables, especially when I go back to work, because if I don't, I'll be hitting the vending machine, or, and I just talk about all that. And, I post pictures of my, meal prepping or my meal plan. And I just talk about it, about why I do it and why it helps me. And a lot of people are just inspired to do that too. So.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can't find that, tell me and I'll send it to you.
Okay. And you said that checklist for coaches is on the coaching page?
Yes, it is in both the Coach Basics group that you're in for new coaches, and it's in my team page. It should be under files. It'd probably be easier to find it under the Coach Basics group. But it says like Supercharged something. That's the name of the team that put it together.
Okay. Yeah. Supercharged. All right.
Yeah.
I may have already saved it.
Yeah.
I need to go back through that and print some of it out.
Yeah, it's not real long. I think it's like 20 pages. So. And I'll tell you, they use they referred to themselves as badasses, which I didn't like. I'm gonna warn you, that's on there. There's a lot of very energetic and people who use
yeah,
which like
it's okay.
On other teams, anyways. But I'll tell you, do you know who Michelle Myers is?
I don't think so.
You know my workout tanks that I use that have scripture on them? Have you ever noticed them?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, Michelle Myers from Cross Training Couture. She is a Beachbody coach, and she rarely ever posts anything about Beachbody. Now she's been in it for a long time, and I think everybody knows she's a Beachbody coach. But she's somebody that I really like to watch. And that, just saying that about that, the language on that thing and how some people do it. But Michelle Myers is somebody that I love to watch and see. She always shares scripture, and talks about different things. But that I don't know why that popped in my head. I thought you would appreciate it. Follow her on Instagram or on Facebook or something.
Okay, I'll look her up.
Yeah, she's cool. And I think I share some of her training videos sometimes, because she's really real. I mean, she's really straightforward and real, but her faith is huge, and I love it.
Okay.
What about have you gotten to work on your coaching announcement? I know you're busy, but I just wondered if you had any wording put together.
I haven't today. Now, I did read yours, and I read the one that
Christina.
Yes, that she did, and I really think that I can base mine a lot off of yours and kind of go add my own personal.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And like I said, timing is a kind of a big thing in our posts and what we share. There are a lot of people up, and on social media between 7:30 and 9:30. So that's a really good time to post it, if you decide to do it tomorrow or whenever. Okay. But anyways, that's just one little tip.
Okay. All right.
But get ready, because people will respond.
Okay.
And if you need help with, how to answer their questions or their inquiries, please, that's what that Coach Basics group is for. And obviously that's what I'm for.
Okay. When are you, or do you have, and you may have already said this and I missed it, 'cause like I said, I'm behind on some of this, but when are you wanting your coaches to begin their coach group? Is there a certain day?
Okay, now you will invite to mine unless you just want to run your own this first time.
No. I would love to invite
you.
you.
No, and honestly, I mean, like, I don't think I ran my own for like 3 months. I probably should have before that, but I was.
No, actually, that's perfect because I was already thinking I wish I could wait until school starts because I'll have so much time, when they're in school.
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be perfect.
Yes, and even when you start your challenge group, I share my challenge group guide. Like Melanie shared hers with me, and Christina, the other coach in that group, we put together the scriptural one that we have. We did that together. We tweaked what Melanie had given us, and we made it our own because she didn't focus on scripture or anything. But I'm happy to share anything that is mine with you. And obviously, you can make it whatever you want it to be, but don't ever feel like you have to just like jump in and do it cold turkey.
Okay, good. I was already thinking about that today. I was like, oh my goodness.
No, you will invite to mine. You will help me lead it, basically. If you want,
that'll be perfect.
Some of the posts, but you'll keep up with your challengers and encourage them and comment, and stuff like that. But no, you don't have to do that on your own.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Woo! Yes, that's a relief.
That's a relief.
Mm-hmm. I just realized how awful I look. We went swimming today, and I didn't take a bath.
Oh no, I don't think I have my video on.
No, you don't have it on.
Okay, good, because I haven't had a bath either, and we've just been, like I said, around the house working and stuff.
Yes. No, I understand. There are lots of calls that I have listened to with myself on mute and my video off, and I'll just put my earbud in, like when I'm putting the boys down to bed, and kind of half listen or whatever I've got to do, because I just know that the calls helped me so much. Especially they still help me. I still listen to our team calls and things like that. But I definitely did it like incognito a lot.
Okay.
So don't worry about that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.